Good morning. Last night we had heavy rain. Lasted pretty much all night, but it's stopped now. And I came down onto the beach this morning because sometimes when we get that heavy rain, we get some interesting patterns in the sand on the beach. Unfortunately, with a kind of ruthless efficiency, the local council have already been in with their machinery and cleaned the beach up. It's the middle of winter, so it's not even in the season, but they've done it already. So as I'm down here anyway, I'm going to set up and do a shot along one of the breakwaters. I've done loads of shots here, gull flying overhead. I've done loads of shots here before, but different conditions can make the image look very different. So I'm going to give it a go and see what happens. Okay, so I've set up down close to the water's edge, looking out along the breakwater, favouring the sky quite a bit because there's a lot of cloud and a lot of texture up there. It's nothing particularly special in terms of composition, but it could look quite nice. I'm going to do a long exposure, probably around 15 seconds at f/16. I can do that without filters in this light, and then we'll see if anything happens around sunrise. That's one shot. It's trying to rain again, so I'm not sure how long this shoot's going to last. Probably still got about another 5 or 10 minutes until sunrise, but I doubt we'll actually see anything with too much cloud. I'm going to hang around for a little bit longer, see if anything else grabs me. Thought I'd try a slightly different composition, so I've gone lower down to get the water in a bit closer to the bottom of the frame. f/11 and 2 seconds. It may be interesting, but I'm not entirely convinced it's working. I'm going to take a couple more shots here like this, just as the waves are coming in, and then I'm going to try one more thing, maybe a longer lens shot, and see if that comes out any better. Gone for something a bit different. Brought the tripod up, so I've got the camera much higher, and I've gone right out to 105mm on this lens. And what I've got is basically the breakwater running from the bottom left-hand corner across almost to the middle of the frame, but still on the lower third. And then the sky up above with some textures in there. Keeping the exposure quite long. I'm at f/16 and 2 seconds at the moment. We'll see how that looks. I'm thinking that the best interest in the sky is in the lower part where there's quite a bit of texture. So I'm kind of thinking this one might work as a 16:9 or maybe even a 2:1 crop. It's a possibility. Might even go to f/22 and slow the shutter speed down even more. Don't normally shoot at f/22, but it might work. So that's 5 seconds at f/22. Let's see what that looks like. Might make for an interesting image. It might make for an interesting black and white. kind of what I'm thinking. There's no colour here, so black and white might be the way to go. I'm going to hang around a few minutes more just to see if anything develops in the sky, but we are about 5 minutes past official sunrise now, so I don't think we're going to get anything, but it's worth hanging on for a few minutes. As it's got a bit brighter, I've noticed the top of Cabezón del Oro mountain, which is where I do a lot of hiking, has actually got some snow on the top, and so has, I believe, Puig Campana. I'm also wondering if there's a longer lens shot to be done of Puig Campana in a moment. I'm going to have a look at that. Okay, I've set up to do a longer lens shot looking across at Puig Campana. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the marina here at El Campello in the foreground, and then we've got the hills going back, and then Puig Campana with that. It's got a little dusting of snow on the top and some clouds around the top. So I'm at 105mm, and f11 is giving me about half a second. See what that looks like. Yeah, the exposure's good. Again, might be an interesting image. I'm not 100% sure that the mountain has come out as sharp as I would like, so I'm actually going to do a second shot focusing on the mountain a bit more closely, just to try and make sure it looks as clear as possible. Yeah, that's a possibility. Right, well past sunrise now, and there's nothing happening. There's actually some quite nice clouds out there, but there's no light on the scene, and it's not really appealing to me. Interesting to see that snow on the mountains though. I hope you've enjoyed this cloudy beachfront video. I'm going to head for home now, get some coffee and some breakfast. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel, and of course likes, shares and comments are really appreciated. I hope you'll join me again in the next one, and until then, thank you very much for watching, and bye.